Welcome to another gripping episode of the Real Unsolved Crimes. Tonight, we uncover a twisted tale that spanned over decades, the Circleville Letters, a stalker's revenge. A story of anonymous letters, haunting threats, and an insidious stalker who would stop at nothing to destroy lives. In the small town of Circleville, Ohio, a series of mysterious letters began appearing in the mid-1970s, each one more disturbing than the last. These letters were filled with accusations, personal threats, and detailed knowledge of people's lives, things no outsider should have known. But what started as a quiet mystery would soon escalate into a tangled web of deception, revenge, and murder. Join me as we explore this chilling case, where the line between justice and vengeance becomes blurred, and a town's darkest secrets are laid bare. Who was behind the Circleville Letters, and why did they go to such great lengths to torment the people of Circleville? It all began in 1976, when residents of Circleville, Ohio, began receiving anonymous letters, often filled with vulgar accusations and personal threats. The letters were addressed to people who lived in the tight-knit community, and their contents were deeply unsettling. The townspeople were left shocked and confused. Who would want to hurt them in such a deeply personal way? The first letters seemed to target specific individuals, usually people with some perceived wrongdoing or scandal. At first, the letters seemed like the work of a disgruntled citizen, but the unsettling detail and intensity of the accusations grew rapidly. What was once a strange nuisance soon became a horrifying campaign of intimidation, as the letters kept coming. Each letter was signed with the ominous phrase, "I know what you did." This wasn't just a case of a small-town feud, this was something far more disturbing. The letters contained details about people's private lives, things only a close friend or family member could have known. But as the letters kept coming, the people of Circleville began to notice something even more chilling. The writer seemed to know things that they had never shared with anyone. A sense of dread spread throughout the town, as the mysterious writer grew bolder. But who could be behind this campaign of revenge? And what was their motive? Among the many residents who received these letters, one person became a central target, Mary Gillespie, a local school bus driver. Mary and her husband, Ronald Gillespie, became the focus of the letters' wrath. The writer accused Mary of having an affair with the local school superintendent, Gordon Massey. The letters began to focus more intensely on Mary's personal life, accusing her of infidelity and tarnishing her reputation. The disturbing detail in these letters made her believe that the writer was watching her every move. Mary became terrified, unsure who could have such intimate knowledge of her private life. But then, the letters began to take a darker turn. They started to mention her children and threatened harm to her family if Mary didn't put an end to the supposed affair. Soon, it was clear that this wasn't just an isolated incident, this was a personal vendetta, a campaign of terror against Mary. But who was behind it? Why was Mary being targeted? And who was this mysterious figure who claimed to know so much about her? As the letters kept coming, the authorities in Circleville became involved, trying to unravel the mystery behind the disturbing notes. They launched an investigation, trying to track down the sender and uncover their identity. But the letters were clever. They were postmarked from different locations, making it difficult to pinpoint where they were coming from. The writer seemed to be one step ahead, always staying just out of reach of the authorities. In 1977, the Circleville police decided to take a drastic step. They began to investigate the possibility that someone close to Mary, someone she knew, might be involved in sending the letters. Could it be an angry ex-lover, a jealous neighbor, or even a close family member? The suspicion grew, and it wasn't long before the focus turned to someone even closer to Mary. Ronald Gillespie, Mary's husband, had become suspicious of the letters, too. But soon, he began receiving letters of his own. The writing was eerily similar, and it seemed to be just as fixated on him as it had been on Mary. One day, the couple's lives would be forever changed, when a shocking turn of events would rock their world to the core. In August 1977, things took a deadly turn. Ronald Gillespie was found dead in his car, having crashed near a bridge outside of Circleville. The circumstances surrounding his death were bizarre. He had been driving in the middle of the night, but there was no sign of any struggle or foul play. However, the mystery deepened when police discovered that Ronald had a gun in his possession at the time of the crash. Did he lose control of his car while trying to confront the stalker? Was this death the result of a confrontation with the person behind the letters? The authorities began to wonder, was this simply a tragic accident, or had Ronald's death been a deliberate act, a message from the mysterious writer? Despite the tragic death of Ronald, the letters continued to flood in, and the investigation seemed to stall. The authorities had very few leads, and the identity of the Circleville letter stalker remained a mystery. In the years following Ronald's death, many theories began to emerge. Some believed that the letters had been written by someone close to the Gillespie family, possibly Mary's ex-husband or someone connected to the school system. Others suggested that the writer was simply a lonely, obsessive person who had become fixated on Mary. One of the most haunting theories was that Mary's ex-husband, who had long been a suspect, had been behind the entire letter campaign, trying to ruin her life out of jealousy and revenge. But no one knew for sure. The Circleville letters have remained one of Ohio's most unsettling and mysterious stories. For decades, the identity of the stalker remained a mystery. And despite all the clues, all the evidence, and all the theories, the case remains unsolved to this day. Was it a jealous lover? An obsessed stalker? Or something darker, more dangerous, lurking in the shadows of Circleville? The Circleville letters, a twisted stalker's revenge, continue to haunt the memories of those who lived through it, and the true identity of the writer remains a chilling question that may never be answered. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most twisted and terrifying unsolved crimes in American history. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of the Unsolved Crimes podcast. Until next time, remember, sometimes the most dangerous threats come from the most unexpected places. Keep searching for the truth.